G'day. Hope you're well. Been meaning to make this video for a while, and I guess the thumbnail kind of gives it away. We have already done a reveal, I guess. We gave you a show around the kitchen on this channel, but I wanted to kind of dive deeper into some of the design choices and the reason we did things, and did we make mistakes? Did I stuff it up at all? Because there's a big project, and it kind of, you know, when you design something like this to film or to kind of for a specific purpose, and you've never designed something like this before, you can get things wrong pretty quickly and pretty easily, and they're not the easiest things to rectify, shall we say. Yeah, so I wanted to run you through some of the choices that we made, or that I made, and things that I like and that work really well, and things that maybe don't work so well, because people might be interested. And I guess I'll talk about stuff that's relevant for the home cook and stuff that's kind of relevant for filming. If anyone's on here that's a content creator, a food content creator, an aspiring food content creator, then we will, you might hopefully learn something from it. But it's a rainy, disgusting day here, and I thought it would be appropriate as well to put the actual lights on that we use for filming. So I will definitely run you through those as we're going through this video as well. I'm not super great with, I can see most of them. I was going to say I'm not great with like numbers of equipment. People always ask what equipment we're using, and caveat this, so this camera that I vlog on is not the cameras that we use for filming our normal content. I just use I don't know, what is a Sony VF something. It's a very simple basic camera, but a great camera, perfect camera I think for aspiring young vloggers. It's small, etc. Anyway, this isn't about camera equipment. This is about studio setup, design, what we went with. Okay, so starting with like design and cabinetry, we work with a company called Cutting Edge, and our contact there was a guy named Jared who went above and beyond, and really helped us out and had a lot of good ideas. But I think for a lot of people, the basic ideas were ours. There was certain specific things that we needed, like this being here was our idea, and Jared did a great job on bringing that to life. So we were keen on the color palette, especially at the back being like a darker color. When it's white, it's really hard to film and it can blow out really easily. So this stone and this stone here came from a company called Stone Ambassador. Those guys were awesome to work with as well, and we weren't that keen at the start on putting the splashback of stone all the way to the top. They convinced us to do it, and I'm glad they did because it looks incredible. Really keen on these shelves here and not doing overhead cabinets, and we worked with Jared on that because I think it just looks better from a kind of a filming aspect. And then we can kind of style it how we want to. Funny story, when we moved into the last place we were in, we literally moved in and had to start making videos like straight away. And people got roasted in the comments because there wasn't like heaps on the shelves. People are really funny, aren't they? So all the cabinetry is, do you remember what wood this is, babe?
I think it's
American oak. We think it's American oak. Could be wrong. Sounds about right. And that was supplied by a company. What was their name?
Green Cathedral.
Green Cathedral. So they're a Sunny Coast based cabinet maker and furniture maker. And they put all the cabinet fronts on here, and they built this island bench too. I was really keen to bring in timber. I love timber. And originally we were going to just do a stone top, and then kind of last minute I had a brainwave to do the whole thing timber, and I really love the way it's come out. I think it looks really great on camera, and it's just a nice surface to touch. It's really nice and tactile. So a big fan of how that turned out. So yeah, huge thank you to Jared. Jared, if you're watching this, thank you, man. You really went above and beyond and helped us figure this all out. And Cutting Edge is also a Sunny Coast based business who have worked, actually Caitlin's father's a builder. He built the house for us, but I'm not going to give you his contact details because he's pretty much retired now, doesn't really build houses anymore. This will probably be one of his last ones. Anyway, Caitlin's parents have worked with Jared and Cutting Edge for a long time on all the houses they built, and they went above and beyond. So a huge thank you to those guys. So let's talk about equipment. So all our kitchen equipment was supplied by Winnings Appliances, who are an Australian company, and I think they're pretty much national, but they were incredible. They came on board and helped us out heaps. One thing I was really keen on was one of these induction/gas combos. I've got a video coming out on it about it in the short format. The reason is induction is way more powerful and more energy efficient than gas. There is no ifs, ands or buts about that. That's just flat out proven. There's less energy waste, etc., etc. The issue that you have is that you can't do everything on induction that you can on gas. So I'm a big fan of induction, and I'm a big fan of gas. So to have one of these units, like this Fisher & Paykel one that has both, was a huge win, and I think it kind of looks pretty schmick too. However, if you're a home cook and you want, and there's a couple of companies that do this, I think Electrolux do one, Fisher & Paykel, you know, go, if you want to speak to the guys at Winnings, they'll be able to run you through who does one a mix like this. I think for the average home cook, or for any home cook, professional, keen, whatever, these are ideal. However, and it's a big but, this is one of the things that I probably didn't do enough research on, because what we've found out now, since we started filming, is that when we cook on here, long story short, induction works in the way of magnets that heat the bottom of the pan up. That's why they're so efficient. Long story short, the frequency and sound of those magnets really interfere with our audio, which is an issue. So there's a couple of ways around it. You know, there's filters that we can run post software to deal with it. We can Caleb can kind of manually go through it, back and through it and do it, but the amount of content that we reproduce, and we do it on a relatively small team, it's not feasible to kind of do that. You kind of need to get it right in camera before you give it to the editors. So, or editor, I should say. So effectively, we're going to have to use this most of the time. We have got another burner outside that we can use, and it's not the end of the world if we do use this. It's just not ideal, but so be it. That's definitely one of those design choices that I think now, knowing what I know, I probably just would have put gas in because we're filming in here. It would probably have made life a little bit easier. But hey, we'll see. Unless we can figure something else out with the microphones. And when I'm talking about microphones, I'm just going to move the camera up a bit. Looking into the sun. Talking about microphones, I'm talking about these things. I just touched it. These things here. So these lav mics, wireless mics, we use them a lot. This is a Rode one. We have DJI ones. We have a few different sets. We've tried all. I think they run at different frequencies. We've tried them all. They all have the same issue. And we run a few different mics. I'll show you one of the other mics that we run up the top in a second. So other equipment, ovens. So we have an oven under here. This is another Fisher & Paykel product. It's a pretty standard oven. It's a 600 watt oven. Does really well. I do like the fact that the drawers work the way that they do. So both, really, it's a bit dirty. Both of those slide in and out really nicely, and it's a small thing, but I'm a big fan of that. And behind you here, we have another oven. So that's a 900 oven, and I haven't actually used it, but that's that oven there, just a bigger oven. And I think if you can afford it, filming or not, get 2 ovens. It's really useful as far as if you're cooking for a lot of people, you're having a dinner party, or you just want to bake a cake while you're doing something else, you can do it. So if you can afford it, get 2 ovens. So another design choice that I was very passionate about is open shelving. So open shelving is super handy, and I think it's honestly, even in a a domestic kitchen, I think it works really well as well. It's just way easier to pull your pots and pans out, see what you've got without having to open cupboards. You can't see it from the other side, but, and then, you know, I've got stuff like my seasoning here, you know, there's some basic oil, towels, little caddy for hot pans, paper towel. I've got PowerPoints under here. Really happy with this design choice, works really well. And I've also got my remote for my extraction, which I'll show you now. So this is the extraction. Looks very industrial. It used to have another plate on it that kind of sat here. I took it off because I felt like it was getting more airflow. The reason when we went for this extraction, I think it's from a company called Wisp Air, is it's very quiet because the fan or the motor isn't here like they normally are in most extractions. Most extractions, the motor's really close to where the air goes up. The motor's actually on the roof quite far away. So it makes it far quieter, which is really helpful for filming. It also is quite powerful, so it can sit really high. So this extraction is way higher than most normal extractions. Big fan of this extraction for what we do. So over this way, we have a single sink down here, and then the general rule of thumb is that all the cooking equipment is in the kitchen. So in here we've got trays and an overflow of pots and pans, you know, equipment, so a mixer, a rice cooker, you know, a ricer, scales, you know, a KitchenAid, a hand blender, and then an actual KitchenAid. That wasn't a KitchenAid, that was a food processor, and an actual KitchenAid down at this end. And then food is all in the pantry. But then in the drawers, you know, knives, crockery, utensils, a gazillion dough cutters, etc. So my theory is, this is shaky and I can see it. So my theory is equipment in the kitchen, food in the pantry, which I'll show you in a second. But I just want to show you outside quickly. It is really rainy and gross. But out here I have a built-in barbecue, which is so annoying when it grabs my finger. As focus. So I have a built-in barbecue, which is a beef eater barbecue, and a gas burner there. This is all outdoors, and then I have obviously my Gosney dome, which I love. It's a lot closer than it normally is because it's absolutely honking rain out there. So lighting. So it's going to be hard to film. Effectively, we've got two rails up here, and then power points in the roofs. So we've got two rails. There's one over there. I'm just going to pull this off the stand. So yeah, I've got one rail there, one rail there. On that rail there, what we call the key light, which is that one, and then a dome there. So that just fills the space with light, and myself. So that's what it looks like from the front. Key light, fill light. And you can see that's kind of the frame. You can't see any of that stuff normally. Up here, we have another LCD panel, which is to light this area here, or the board and everything here. And similar there, we've got another LCD panel, which is to light what's happening on the cooker. Behind that, we have another LCD panel, which is shooting up at the roof. Caleb figured this out. So that panel shoots up at the roof, bounces off, and fills the back with light. We have LED strips under here as well. We don't use the top ones when we're filming, we only use the bottom ones, just because you can see it and it looks like that, which looks kind of weird. Okay, into the pantry. Coffee section, most important. Espresso every morning, filter coffee for the second coffee. And then shelving here, all open shelving. Double door fridge and a wine fridge for Caitlin's wine. Then we just have a bunch of pantry space up the top, at the end, and then the cleaning here, and there's a bit more crockery here. So, design fault. We should have made this area bigger. Probably underestimated how deep these cabinets were going to be, and it makes it hard. If someone's here doing dishes, it makes it really hard for someone to get past, to get to the pantry. So in hindsight, we probably would have made this space a bit bigger. It makes shoots go a lot faster when we can kind of hide stuff away, or someone can clean as we're doing other things. So yeah, probably just needed the space to be bigger, but I am happy we've got lots of shelving, especially here. Also I have fixed shelving here, not the stuff that moves around. I find that stuff can kind of break pretty easily, which is annoying. Well, not break, but can fall in and stuff like that. Yeah, and we kept it black on purpose, kept it nice and dark in here. It's kind of the, you know, the off-camera area. You won't see us filming in here on the main channel much. But this is where I kind of spend a lot of time when I'm not filming in here. Make my coffee here in the morning. I'm currently making some bread. So I kind of, you know, do stuff like that in here when we're not filming, and we try and keep that area as tidy as possible out the front. And then back out the front, I'm not sure if I've showed you this, but the front is also open shelving, and that's just kind of where we keep all our ceramics. You know, we kind of random, we have like 2 of every plate rather than like a set, because we need different things to shoot on. So overall, really happy with how it turned out. Would have made a couple of different choices, not from as far as aesthetically designed, but how it flows. We're almost kind of a bit limited too, because of the fact that we live out of the space as well. And you kind of can't just completely take over the whole house. But yeah, I mean, apart from this being an issue at the moment with the noise that it's making, and the pantry being a bit bigger, I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. So, so no, I don't think it's been a failure. I think it's just a learning, and this we can probably fix. The pantry we just have to learn to live with, and it's really not the end of the world. It's pretty good. We've still got a little bit of work getting this lighting dialed in, but you know, as we make more videos and get used to it, we've only filmed a couple of videos in here. We kind of want to have a really clean cut over on the main channel from old kitchen to new kitchen. So the very first video from the new kitchen goes live on New Year's Eve. Actually, no, that's a lie. The video goes live on New Year's Eve as a video I should have shot in the old kitchen but didn't, so it was shot in this kitchen. It'd be interesting to see if anyone on the shorts content notices the difference, mentions anything. And then the video on the 1st of January is kind of a changing of guard of the kitchen, shall we say. So yeah, any other questions about the kitchen or the equipment, or kind of who we used if you live on the sunny coast, or nationally, I guess, for some of the stuff, let me know in the comments. Huge thank you to everyone who helped bring this together. And yeah, I guess we'll see you tomorrow. What's the day today? Oh, it's New Year's Eve tomorrow. Yeah, I might jump on with Caitlin tomorrow and talk about the year that was, and maybe what we're doing next year. I think that's a good idea. We'll see you then. Peace.